Today I want to talk about some of the Underdark maps I made when I was using Veins of the Earth to an aid for my Underdark campaign. Open the book here. Okay, so it comes with this mega map here. And to explain what you're looking at, the upper left and lower right corners are above down maps, while the upper right and lower left corners are sideways maps, with the top being up, the bottom being down, and left being west, right being east. And this allows you to make a sort of 3D map. It's sort of a compromise, like with any map. When you're trying to do a map of the world and you turn a sphere into a flat surface, you have to make compromises, and this is a pretty good one. So there are different features that you might have inside your mega map. And so one of them is you might have a river. Now this shows the mapping process here. Alright, so you might have a river. Here's an example of river. When you're mapping the river, it's important to make sure that the water flows downhill on the sideways view parts of the map. You could also have a fault. It's basically a crack. Or you could have a mine. This is a mine. You could have warworks, which is a series of artificial mines that were carved by two sides that were fighting a war underground. Sulfur blooms are where a corrosive gas leaks up from the depths and makes these patterns. A fungal path is where a gigantic fungus comes up from the depths and grows, and after it goes away, then you have this system of tunnels that are connected by the growth of this fungus. And then there's gigastructures like cities, which I didn't use any of those, and burrows from an animal digging. Okay, so let's put this aside for a second. So this is the mega map that I made for my campaign here. And this is the map that, the only one that really got explored in depth. Let's zoom in on it, if I can get it to focus. Okay. Yeah, so I put letters to help me figure out what is where. So you got A through I on the top and 1 through 12 on the bottom. So you look up here where it says chain. This was the starting point. I ran Deep Carbon Observatory, and there's a chain that goes down into the darkness. And I had them go down the chain. And the chain is so long, it took 3 days to make it down the chain. At the bottom of the chain was another wheel connected to the other end of the chain. And this wheel was on an island in the river. So I had to get off the river and onto the land. And very quickly, they lost all their light. I had it gradually get darker. Now, to explain the darkness, it got darker enough that their infravision didn't even work. So they're wandering in the dark for a while, until eventually they find that map. I don't have that map. Okay. Yeah, So eventually, they found their way to a person who had a lantern. He had a lantern filled with whale oil from the Nightmare Sea. And the lamp would sing to you, and if you fell asleep listening to this lamp, then you would not be able to wake up. So, before I go into detail maps, I want to just show the broad strokes. So, we've got this river running through it. This is a above-down map here, and when you get here, it becomes a sideways map. So this is a 5-mile waterfall, which prevents anything below from swimming up there. And it winds around. These little compass marks, I made all of those be cities. So over here, you have a city of mushroom men that they never met. They didn't go that way. Over here, you have a Dvargir city. Those are like deep dwarves. So the river goes around here, and it goes through a city that's equal amounts mushroom men and Olm. Olm are like newt men. And then it goes here, and then there's a city. This is an above-down map here, but then it becomes a sideways map, so this is a series of waterfalls. So that's the river. Also, there's the Great Fault. It's a gigantic diamond-shaped crack in the earth that starts here like this, and when you get to this part, then it's going uphill here, straight up there, and then it starts going down, and then this becomes a top-down map again, so this is sideways, and then here it is on a side view map again, going down and up and down and up, until it goes through the Alf-Adal city. The Alf-Adal are sort of like the Drow. Okay. And so the third kind of structure connecting things is the fungal path left behind by some gargantuan fungus that grew up through here, and after it receded, it left this path. This path is connected to that city and to the Dvargir city, and if you go this way, to the Mushroom Man city. So that's the other path. And so, I made a map to go below here, and in this map below, there's a burrow that goes to here, where Mothra was, but they never met that. Mothra's eggs were there. And the crack keeps going through here. In the crack was the civil, would run through it periodically. I only met it once. The civilipede, which is a gigantic centipede-like thing with an art museum on its back and people in it. So that was that. And here's the fungal thing still growing up through here before it gets to there. And this is a mine shaft which goes to this city here and then keeps going and eventually goes to D1, Descent into the Depths of the Earth. And so this map, which I never put any detail on, has the crack. It also, this green is a warworks. It's a series of mine shafts built for a war, and the purple is another one. They're on different sides of the crack here. And this orange is a sulfur bloom. It's a path carved by corrosive gases. You notice it's a lot of these cross each other. That was on purpose. And so, the river continues. And here's where the river comes from. And this is another map. This is planned a little bit. And there's the burrow, which keeps going down. So I've got 10 minutes. I think I will